This is the national news telecast from ChannelEye Rupavahini. I'm Movin Hettiarachchi. Today is the 24th of April and here are today's headlines. Umayyah multi-purpose development project vested with the public. 5 memorandums of understanding between Sri Lanka and Iran signed. A permanent injunction order issued suspending SLFP chairmanship of former President Maithripala Sirisena. Court blocks the portfolios of SLFP acting chairman Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa and General Secretary Dushmantha Mitrapala. National People's Power says the opposition leader evades debate. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa says he will contest the presidential election. Price of imported milk powder to decrease from tomorrow. The US issues a $95 billion military aid package for 3 countries. Found all those and more stories in detail on today's top story. Recording a new chapter in Sri Lankan irrigation history, the Umayyah multi-purpose development project was vested with the public today under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe and his Iranian counterpart, Dr. Ibrahim Raisi. To take part in the inauguration ceremony, Iranian President, his wife and the Iranian delegation arrived in the island this morning from the Mattala airport. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and several ministers and parliamentarians warmly accepted them at the airport. This is the first time an Iranian leader visited Sri Lanka after the former President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad visited in 2008. The Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi will arrive in the country under a special invitation made by President Ranil Wickremesinghe.
To Sri Lanka and for being a good friend and a supportive nation during tough times, not since the recent.
මගේතාම අනබි භවනයේ අවස්ථාවක් අප ඉරාන ඉස්ලාම් ජනරජයේ සහභාගී වෙලා මෙරට යන නිල ප්‍රභු රථය වෙත
Later, both leaders joined the opening ceremony of the Umayyah multi-purpose development project. This project provides water for 60,000 hectares of agricultural lands for both cultive seasons. This power station adds a capacity of 120 megawatts to the national grid. The entire Umayyah multi-task development project cost $514 million. The constructions were jointly carried out by the Farab Company of Iran and the group of local engineers. Out of the amount, $50 million were supplied by the Iranian Export Development Bank. The rest were supplied by the Sri Lankan government.
Today we take a gigantic step towards ensuring water and energy security of our nation. Collaborations between nations is indeed what will benefit the citizens of the world.
Today's event signifies more than just a project handover. It represents a renewed commitment to strengthening the solid foundation of friendship and cooperation that has characterized our long-lasting historical relationship. It opens a new chapter, reaffirming our shared values and mutual interests.
Thank you, Mr. President, for accepting the invitation and to participate in handing this project over to the people. It brings our nations closer. This was started by our 2 predecessors. It was President Mahinda Rajapaksa who took an interest to ensure water is made available to this area which is called a dry zone. And your President Hamanji who agreed to enter into an agreement to help Sri Lanka. your country and my country are used to this type of challenges. So we overcame them. And now we have the Umaoya project. This is also getting together of two ancient irrigation traditions. Those of Persia, Iran, and those of Sri Lanka, Anuradhapura and Sri Lanka. We could not have diverted the tributaries of the Umaoya into Kirindioya without the technology available to you all. We have learned from you, and the engineering skills of modern Iran are well known. Your technology skills cover every field. You are an example of a country which develops its technology to an advanced level by your own effort. So what is common with us, we should strengthen. We are all countries that belong to the South. At a time when South now wants to establish its own identity and its own independence. So these types of projects of cooperation certainly strengthens that outlook. And to this area, which is a part of the dry zone, you made water available and you have given them hope for the future.
Today we are officially opening this great and multi-purpose development project. But I believe that the most important issue is to ensure the utmost cooperation, integration, synergy, and unity between our two great countries and nations in the Asian region. I believe that more significant and important than the completion and conclusion of this project is the will and determination of our two countries and nation, which has been realized today. So we have been mutually determined in order to bring about welfare and to promote the level of life and life standards in your country for our brotherly and friendly people of Sri Lanka. This project was financed and funded by Sri Lanka, and at the same time the technical and engineering labor force and skills and expertise were provided by the Islamic Republic of Iran. The government of Sri Lanka did its best in order to conclude this project, and at the same time we from Iran shared our knowledge and technology and expertise, and we transferred this knowledge to the friendly country of Sri Lanka. Today the Islamic Republic of Iran enjoys great technical and engineering skills and expertise, and in more than 20 countries our experts are running great and big electricity and water projects. Hereby I would like to register the readiness and preparedness of the Islamic Republic of Iran to share its knowledge, expertise and experience which has been gained in the past 45 years through the great efforts of its men and women with the friendly country of Sri Lanka for the sake of your country's progress and development. We register our readiness for partnership between our two countries.
The official state ceremony to welcome the visiting Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi was held this evening at the Presidential Secretariat premises. The Iranian delegation, headed by President Ibrahim Raisi, escorted to the Presidential Secretariat by a motorcade. President Ranil Wickremesinghe welcomed his Iranian counterpart. Later, a guard of honor was offered to the Iranian leader by the Sri Lankan army. Then state representatives of both countries were introduced to the two leaders. Later they started bilateral discussions. Another injunction order was issued today suspending SLFP chairmanship of former President Maithripala Sirisena. This injunction order was issued by Colombo Chief District Judge and is effective until the case is over. This order was issued when a petition filed by SLFP Executive Committee member Montague Sarachandra was summoned at the district courts today. The petitioner cited Maithripala Sirisena has violated the clause 12-1. According to this clause, a former president cannot become the chairman of the party and can only be a patron. Considering this legal point, the Chief District Judge in Colombo issued a permanent interim injunction until the end of the hearing of the petition. SLFP Executive member Montague Sarachandra said that this case filed in 2022, and he said that his view was that Maithripala Sirisena holding chairmanship is against the party constitution. Colombo District Courts today issued an injunction order preventing the appointment of Minister Vijaydas Rajapaksa as the acting chairman of the SLFP. Another interim order was issued against Dushmantha Mitrapala acting as the General Secretary of the party. In addition, another order was issued preventing the implementation of the decisions taken by the acting chief lawyer of the party. Colombo District Judge Sadun Vithana issued the injunctions orders considering the complaint filed by Minister Mahinda Amaravira, State Minister Lasantha Galagiawanna and Parliamentarian Dubanthi Dissanayake. This order was effective until the 8th of May. Presidential Counsel Chanaka Jayasundara, appearing as a petitioner, told the courts that according to the SLFP constitution, the appointment of Dushmantha Mitrapala as the acting General Secretary is against the law. In addition, Additional General Secretary has no power to convene an executive committee meeting of the party. He further pointed out that Vijaydas Rajapaksa was appointed as the acting chairman, is not a member of the party. According to the SLFP constitution, a member of another political party cannot be appointed to the party portfolios. A party membership is confirmed after 6 months from the date of obtaining the membership. The President's Council further pointed out that it seems Minister Vijaydas Rajapaksa has no membership in the SLFP. Considering all these facts, District Judge issued a relevant injunction order. State Minister Lasantha Galagiawanna said that the party membership fee is deducted from the salary of the parliamentarians to their relevant political party. From the salary of the Vijaydas Rajapaksa, membership fee of 3,000 rupees is credited to Sri Lanka Posijana Peramuna. Therefore, he is a member of the SLPP, not SLFP. He has no qualifications to claim he is a SLFP member.
ඉතාමත් කනගාටු වෙනවා මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන අපේ හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමාට මිනිස්සු අමාරුවේ දානවා කියන එක එච්චර අමුතු දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. ඉතින් ඒ අමාරුවේ දාපු ලේඛනයට තවත් එක්කෙනෙක් විදියට අපේ හිත මිත්‍ර විජේදාස රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමාත් පත් වීම පිළිබඳවයි අපේ විශේෂම කනගාටුව තිබෙනවා.
General Secretary of the United People's Freedom Alliance, Tilanga Sumathipala, said that it is regrettable for the first time in Sri Lanka's history, the court has issued an injunction order against the Minister of Justice. Meanwhile, an injunction order that has been preventing the removal of several SLF portfolios was extended today up to the 8th of May. This injunction order was issued preventing the implementation of the decision to remove Minister Mahinda Amaravira, State Minister Lasantha Galagiawanna and Parliamentarian Dubanthi Dissanayake from SLFP portfolios. This case was summoned today for the respondents to file their objections. Opposition leader Sajith Premdasa says that under his regime, a separate commission and courts will be set up to mete out the justice for the Easter Sunday attacks. Addressing the parliament today, he said he will definitely contest the upcoming presidential election, and the 3-day debate planned under the proposal by the opposition commenced today. Minister Vijaydas Rajapaksa said that 43 indictments has been issued so far with regards to these Sunday attacks. There are 93 respondents. The relevant petitions were filed by the current Attorney General. Accordingly, the court has achieved its responsibility in this connection. The courts or the Attorney General cannot act arbitrarily in indicting suspects.
අපි පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය පිළිබඳව ගන්න ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න මම කැමතියි මේක කියන පළමුවෙන්ම විශේෂ විමර්ශන කොමිෂන් සභාවක් අපි ස්ථාපනය කරනවා. කොන්දේසි විරහිත අපි විනිවිද භාවයෙන් යුක්ත වූ පරීක්ෂණයක් පවත්වලා විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ පරීක්ෂණයට
Opposition leader Sajid Premadas said that under his government, a special commission of investigation will be set up. Investigations will be carried out unconditionally in transparent manner. A special independent indictment office also will be set up. He further said that he will contest the upcoming presidential election.
සමහරු කියනවා මේ මම ජනාධිපතිවරණයට එන්නේ නැහැ. මං කියනවා මං ජනාධිපතිවරණයට ඉදිරිපත් වෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ
And now look at the agreement signed between Sri Lanka and the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Visit to Sri Lanka. As we said before, the bilateral talks.
Now, 5 agreements between Sri Lanka and the Islamic Republic of Iran have been signed with an aim to enhance cooperation between the two nations, mainly the cultural sector. Those agreements were signed in the presence of Sri Lankan and Iranian presidents.
President's visit to Sri Lanka. As we said before, the bilateral talks between the two countries, between the two presidents, were held.
Now may I invite Honorable Dr. Susil Premajayantha, Minister of Education on behalf of the Government of Sri Lanka, and Honorable Dr. Muhammad Mehdi Esmaili, Minister of Culture and Islamic Guidance on behalf of the Government of Iran, to ink the Memorandum on Cooperation between the National Library of Sri Lanka and the National Library and Archives of Iran.
دعوت میکنم از وزیر آموزش سریلانکا به نمایندگی از دولت این کشور و جناب اسلامی از طرف جمهوری اسلامی ایران جهت امضای تفاهم‌نامه همکاری میان کتابخانه ملی سریلانکا و کتابخانه ملی و آرشیو جمهوری اسلامی ایران. You can read whatever you like. Don't worry.
Minister of Mass Media on behalf of the Government of Sri Lanka, and Honorable Dr. Muhammad Mehdi Esmaili, Minister of Culture and Islamic Guidance on behalf of the Government of Iran, to sign the Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in the Film Industry between the National Film Corporation of Sri Lanka and the Ministry of Culture and Islamic Guidance of Iran.
دعوت میکنم از وزیر رسانه‌های جمعی سریلانکا به نمایندگی از دولت این کشور و جناب آقای دکتر اسماعیلی وزیر فرهنگ و ارشاد اسلامی به نمایندگی از دولت جمهوری اسلامی ایران جهت امضای تفاهم‌نامه همکاری در زمینه صنعت فیلم میان تعاونی ملی فیلم سریلانکا و وزارت فرهنگ و ارشاد اسلامی جمهوری اسلامی ایران.
Now may I invite Honorable Dr. Bandar Gunawardena, Minister of Mass Media on behalf of the Government of Sri Lanka, and Honorable Ali Akbar Mehrabian, Minister of Energy on behalf of the Government of Iran, to sign the Memorandum on Cooperation in the field of media and tourism between Sri Lanka and Iran. Now may I invite Honorable M.U.M. Ali Sabri, Minister of Foreign Affairs, on behalf of the Government of Sri Lanka, and Honorable Dr. Muhammad Mehdi Esmaili, Minister of Culture and Islamic Guidance, on behalf of the Government of Iran, to sign the agreement on Program of Cultural, Scientific and Technical Cooperation, Mass Media, Youth and Sports between Sri Lanka and Iran.
برنامه همکاری‌های فرهنگی، علمی و فناوری، رسانه‌های جمعی، جوانان و ورزش میان دو کشور.
Thank you, Honourable Ministers. Now I invite Mr. G.D. Sarath Weerasiri, Chairman, National Cooperative Council of Sri Lanka, on behalf of the Government of Sri Lanka, and Honourable Dr. Muhammad Mehdi Esmaili, Minister of Culture and Islamic Guidance, on behalf of the Government of Iran, to sign the Memorandum of Understanding between the National Cooperative Council of Sri Lanka and Iran Chamber of Cooperatives.
دعوت میکنم از رئیس شورای ملی تعاونی‌های سریلانکا از جانب دولت این کشور و جناب آقای دکتر اسماعیلی وزیر فرهنگ و ارشاد اسلامی از جانب دولت جمهوری اسلامی ایران جهت امضای تفاهمنامه میان شورای ملی تعاونی‌های سریلانکا و اتاق تعاون جمهوری اسلامی ایران.
In the meantime, Lakshman Veerasurya of the Milk Powders Importers Association says that the prices of milk powder imported from New Zealand will be reduced from tomorrow. He made these comments at a press briefing held today. Lakshman Veerasurya says that Milk Powders Importers Association said that price of 400 grams of milk powder packet will be reduced by 100 to 140 rupees. The new price will be between 910 to 950 rupees. 1 kilogram packet will be reduced by 250 to 300 rupees. This relief is mainly a result of the appreciation of the Sri Lankan rupee against the dollar. Several politicians expressed mixed ideas regarding the current political situation. Samagi Jana Balawayake parliamentarian Ashok Abesinghe said that the SJB's Economic Committee invited the NPP's Economic Committee for a debate. The NPP has stated some dates unilaterally. The SJB has other scheduled activities on these days. Therefore, the party will have talks with Nalinda Jayatissa of the NPP and arrange possible dates for this debate.
සාකච්ඡා කරලා එකක හැවිය හැකි දින යොදාගෙන මේ විවාදය පවත්වන්න ඇත්තම ගත්තොත් අපි දන්නවා සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහත්මයා
General Secretary of the JVP Tilvin Silva said that Sajid Premadasa will not take part in the debate. He is attempting to mislead the public by expressing irrelevant matters. If he tells a suitable date, the NPP is ready to accept it. Instead, addressing school children at a school in Virakatia, Sajid says that he is ready to debate with the NPP. State Minister Shahan Singha says that inflation has decreased up to 2.5% in March. It remained 5.1% in February. Inflation of food category can be maintained at a 5% level, while the inflation of non-food category has decreased by 0.7%. In 2022, Sri Lanka's inflation skyrocketed up to 70% and the inflation of food categories soared up to 95%. The State Minister points out that although the decrease of inflation would not cause immediate decrease of price of essential items, price will not rapidly increase. Agrarian Development Board Department says that crediting financial subsidies of farmers accounted for paddy cultivation in the Yala season this year will commence from next week. This decision has been taken following a decision taken by the government to provide financial subsidies for paddy farming communities. The proposal in this connection, which is presented by Minister Mahinda Amaravira, was approved by the Cabinet of Ministers in March. Accordingly, relief of 15,000 rupees per hectare will be provided. Farmers can use these funds to purchase fertilizer or do any other activities in the cultivations. The Agrarian Development Department says that Minister Mahinda Amaravira inquired them regarding the complaint made by some farmers' organizations that they have not received the subsidies. We'll be back with foreign news after a short break.
දශක 4ක අභිමානය සමග ජාතික රූපවාහිනියෙන් ඔබ නැරඹූ ආදරණීය වැඩසටහන් නැවතත් නරඹන්න. ශ්‍රී ලංකා රූපවාහිනියේ YouTube නාලිකාව වෙත පිවිස සබ්ස්ක්‍රයිබ් කරන්න. ජනප්‍රිය ටෙලිනාට්‍ය, සම්මානලත් වාර්තා වැඩසටහන්, ධර්මදේශනා, ජනප්‍රිය සංගීත වැඩසටහන්, හාස්‍ය නාට්‍ය ඇතුළු මෙතෙක් විකාශය වූ ඔබ කැමතිම වැඩසටහන් නැරඹීම සඳහා ශ්‍රී ලංකා රූපවාහිනියේ YouTube නාලිකාව වෙත පිවිස සබ්ස්ක්‍රයිබ් කරන්න.
On foreign news, tens of thousands of people took to the streets in Argentina's capital Buenos Aires yesterday to demand increased funding for public universities. Ricardo Delpi, director of the University of Buenos Aires, stated that the institution may close within 3 months unless it receives more funding. The right-wing government has kept the university funding this year at the same level as in 2023. Despite inflation reducing the real values of the budget as by 80%. Javier Milei blames the decades of overspending by left-wing governments for Argentina's economic decline. Meantime, an organized haze has decided over Athens as clouds of dust have blown from Sahara Desert. It is one of the worst such episodes to hit Greece in 2018, according to officials. The Greece Weather Services stated that skies are predicted to clear today. Air quality has deteriorated in many areas of the country, and today morning, Acropolis in Athens is no longer visible due to the dust. The cloud has reached far north as Tenkolis. The Greeks with respiratory conditions have urged to limit the time they spend outdoors. The Sahara releases 60 to 200 million tons of mineral dust per year. Most of the dust quickly descends to Earth, but some of the small particles can travel huge distances. Atmosphere, especially in southern Greece, has become stifling due because of the combination of dust and high temperatures. This current event across the Mediterranean has caused by the low pressure over Libya that has been brought by strong southerly winds. In the meantime, the Senate voted overwhelmingly yesterday to give the final approval of $95.3 billion package to Ukraine, Israel and Taiwan in the USA. The vote reflected a resounding bipartisan support for the measure, which surpassed the House Saturday with the lopsided margins where it was nearly derailed by the right-wing resistance. The Senate's action on a vote of 79 to 18 provided a victory for the president, who had urged lawmakers to move quickly so he can sign it into law, and capped it at an extraordinary political saga that raised questions whether the United States would continue to play a leading role in upholding the international order and projecting its values globally. Now to sports news. Lucknow Super Giants won the Indian Premier League T20 match against Chennai Super Kings, played in Chennai yesterday by 6 wickets. Batting first, Chennai Super Kings scored 210 runs for the loss of 4 wickets in their 20 overs. Ratuja Gaikwad scored a superb century with 108 runs not out. Shivam Dubey scored 63 runs. In reply, Lucknow Super Giants passed the victory target in 19.3 overs and 4 wickets. Marcus Stoinis scored 124 runs not out. His innings included 13 fours and 6 sixes. In bowling, Matisha Patranas playing 2 wickets.
The Chennai Super Kings captain, 103 from 56, second 100 in the eye.
That's it for tonight's English News telecast. Thank you for joining us. Good night.